Welcome back to our FastAPI series. In the last video, we explored handling request and response bodies in FastAPI. Today, we're diving into data validation with Pydantic. Pydantic is the powerhouse behind FastAPI's data validation, making it easy to ensure that your data is correct and secure. Let's get started. Pydantic is a Python library for data parsing and validation using Python type annotations. It's the backbone of FastAPI's data validation system, ensuring that the data entering your application is exactly as expected. In FastAPI, you can create a Pydantic model to define the structure and types of data you expect. Let's say we want to validate user data for a registration form. We'll create a user model with fields for username, email, and age. Here, we import base model from Pydantic, then define a user class that inherits from base model. The class has three fields: username, email, and age, with their respective types. FastAPI will automatically validate these fields when the data is received. Now that we have our Pydantic model, let's use it in a FastAPI route to validate incoming data. We'll create a post route to accept user data and validate it against our model. In this example, we define a post route /register that accepts a user object as input. FastAPI will automatically validate the incoming data against the user model, ensuring that all fields are present and correctly typed. If the data is valid, it's returned as a response. If not, FastAPI will return a detailed error message. Let's see what happens when we send both valid and invalid data to our /register/route. First, we'll send a valid JSON object with all the correct fields and types. FastAPI processes the request without any issues, and it returns the data as expected. Now, let's send some invalid data. Here, we're missing the email field, and the age field is given as a string instead of an integer. FastAPI will return an error with a status code 422 unprocessable entity. FastAPI's error message is detailed. It tells us that the email field is required and that the age field must be a valid integer. This clear feedback helps us quickly identify and fix the issues with our input data. Pydantic also allows for more advanced validations. For example, you can set constraints on field values, like ensuring an age is always positive, or an email matches a certain pattern. Let's modify our user model to include these validations. Here, we use email start to ensure the email is in a valid format, and conint gt=0 to make sure the age is a positive integer. With these validations in place, FastAPI will automatically enforce these rules whenever a request is made. You can also use regular expressions with the regex argument in a star field to enforce patterns. Here, the username must match a pattern that allows letters, numbers, underscores, dots, and hyphens. If it doesn't match, FastAPI will reject the request with an appropriate error message. If you want to create your own validation logic, use @validator decorators. Here, we ensure that the username field doesn't contain spaces. If it does, a custom error message is returned. In the next video, we'll dive into how FastAPI handles JSON data. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. See you in the next one.